Hi, I'm Paul. So this video is about setting up OBS Studio for the first time after you've downloaded it and installed it. It's the basic settings for configuring it for recording video or capturing audio and video off of the internet. This isn't a tutorial about streaming. I don't do any streaming yet, so you can always go back and make those configurations later if you would like to. I'm also including a free PDF that you can download. The link is in the description of this video. You don't have to supply any information, no email address or anything like that. Just click on the link. It'll open up in your browser and then you can just go ahead and download it. So I'm going to be using the PDF while I'm recording this video, and I'm also going to be putting up screenshots because right now I'm recording with OBS Studio, and when I'm doing that, there's certain features that aren't available to change while it's active. So this is the PDF I created. If you haven't already downloaded and installed OBS Studio, just go to obsproject.com. It downloads fast. It's easy to install. It's totally free, and it's updated on a regular basis. So you'll see the three operating systems on the home screen. The one that's highlighted in blue is the one that will download. So you can use Windows, Apple, or Linux. So once you've downloaded it, you should see this where you just double click on Open File and it'll start installing. And then another screen will pop up and ask you if you want to optimize for streaming or for recording. Select recording. You can always go back and configure it for streaming later. And then there'll be some other windows that will open up. Just click Next. So this is the UI interface screen, the user interface. And this is what it should look like when you first install it. So I'm going to be going over the screen next. So what I showed you in the PDF was what the interface looks like, the main panel when you first installed it. This is my display, and it's got a lot of stuff on it. But the only way to show you some of the things is by doing this live. The reason it looks like two mirrors facing each other is because it's the screen, OBS Studio grabbing a screenshot, which is grabbing a screenshot, which is why it looks this weird. So there's actually 5 docking panels when you first install it. This screen transitions will also be selected, and that's right here. I never changed this. What is, if you look on the left here, you'll see that I have 3 different scenes, and what that does is after as I'm moving from one scene to another, it has a 300 millisecond fade delay. So it looks smooth when I'm switching between the scenes, and you can configure that however you want. But to free up some more space, I just come up here to Docs and just deselect it, and it just gives me some more room to work. And this is what it looks like, the screenshot, without anything being configured yet. So all these panels are what they call floating. You can drag them anywhere on the screen that you want. If you have 2 or more monitors, you can drag them over to the other monitors. If everything gets messed up and you don't know what to do to get everything back in place, just come up to View and select Reset UI. And it sets everything back to the way it was when you first installed it. And again, I don't need the scene transition, so I'm just going to come up here to Docs and select Scene Transitions to hide it. And the next thing we want to do is come down here into Settings. And this window will open. In the General tab, I just leave it. I don't do anything in here. I just leave the default settings. Streaming, I'm not doing anything with that right now. So then come down to Output and then select Recording. Now up here at the top where it says Output Mode, what I do is I select Advanced because it's initially set to Simple. So just use the drop down here and select Advanced. I can't do that right now. As you see, a lot of stuff is grayed out because OBS is active, but there's screenshots for everything in the PDF. This recording path, this is where you want to save your current project to be recorded. So you can either just click the Browse button and then go to some area on your hard drive, and you can create a folder and then select that, or you can create the folder in advance and then just browse over to it and select it. The recording format, I use the .mkv, and the reason for that, if you use an MP4 or some other format, if OBS crashes or if you lose power for some reason, if you have .mkv selected, your video will be saved. If you use an MP4, it'll be lost and you'll have to start over. Video encoder, use X264. I created this the screenshots off of my desktop, and I have an NVIDIA graphics card, so you'll see that on the PDF. If you don't have a graphics card, just use the .264. As far as audio tracks, by default, audio track 1 is selected. That's for the microphone. Select track 2 if you want to capture your desktop audio, and then you've got 4 more tracks for either adding other microphones or for some other output device that you may have connected to your computer. The rescale output, make sure that you have that selected and you're set at 1920 by 1080. Otherwise, the screen resolution may not look very good. Then you want to come over to the audio tab. The default, I believe it's 160, and this is for all the tracks, and you can scroll down. I can't scroll down right now because it's active, but change the audio bitrate to 320. That'll give you better audio quality. Okay, so next thing you want to select is the audio tab. The sample rate right here should be set at 48 kilohertz or 48,000 hertz. If it's not, change it to that. It'll give you better audio quality. The default for the channels is stereo. I don't record in stereo because I'm not recording anything with live music or anything that requires stereo, so I just change it to mono. The global audio devices. Come down here and select that for your desktop audio if you're going to be capturing your audio through your speakers. If not, you can disable it, but I just come down here and I make sure that that's selected. For the desktop audio 2 all the way through auxiliary 4, I just leave disabled. Originally, when I started using OBS Studio, I was adding a second microphone here because I was trying to get, or actually both microphones I was adding here because I was trying to test to see what it sounded like with 2 mics. The problem is the gain is really sensitive if you select these for your microphones, and I found it just about impossible to get really clean audio out of that. So I just leave all of these disabled. Then down here, change the meter type from sample peak to true peak. That's if you're going to use Audacity or DaVinci Resolve to try to get the correct loudness level for internet platforms. It'll help. Otherwise, you can just leave it. I've done some videos in the past, a few months ago, about getting proper audio levels or the proper loudness level for internet platforms. I'll put the link for the first video in the description. The rest of these you can just leave as their default settings. Then come down to video. And again, everything is grayed out because I'm currently using OBS Studio. The base canvas resolution and output scaled resolution should be set at 1920 by 1080. And then you can change your frame rate, frames per second, to whatever you're recording at. I'm recording at 60 frames per second, and this is the option that I'm using. If for some reason, and again, always create a sample video that's about 15 to 30 seconds long so you can review the video and audio quality. But if your video quality is really poor, a little bit blurry, come into here and make sure it's not set to the 640 setting. Make sure it's set at 1920, at least 1920 by 1080. And then when you're done, you'd click apply and then click OK. One more thing. You come down to advanced and change the process priority from normal to high. That should give you a smoother recording when you're using a webcam. The other thing, make sure that your webcam is plugged into its own USB port on your laptop or computer. Don't plug it into a hub. I think the problem I had in the past was I was sharing a USB port. I had a hub plugged into it and with a microphone and some other things and the webcam, and it's not delivering enough power to power the webcam. So I think that was the issue with my video being a little bit jerky. So just make sure your webcam is plugged into its own USB port on your computer. And then when you're done, just click the OK button. So instead of configuring the microphones into settings, I just come over here under sources, and there was already a default microphone added. I just changed the name of it, and any additional microphones that I might want to add, I'll just add them right here. And I'm going to show you how to do that in the next video. So if you find that you need to uninstall OBS for some reason, let's say you've made a bunch of changes to the settings and you don't know how to get it back to the way it was originally set up and you want to start over, you uninstall OBS just like you uninstall any other program by going into Control Panel. But doing that alone does not change the settings back to the way they originally were. So before you uninstall OBS, come up to File and select Show Settings folder. And these are all the files and folders that contain all the changes that you made with your setup. So you can delete them one at a time, or you can just click on one of them, hold Shift, click on the last one, holding Shift on your keyboard, or you can just use your mouse and drag over all of them, and then either press the delete key on your keyboard or come up here and select the trash can. You do not have to delete the folder that contains these other folders and files. When you finish deleting that, you can just close it, close down OBS Studio, and then go ahead and uninstall it like you normally would. Then you can go ahead and either go to the website and download the version that's currently available, or if you still have the file that you downloaded earlier on your computer, you can just go ahead and just start the download or the installation process all over. So that's it. So I haven't configured any microphones or video cameras or anything else. That was just for the basic settings. The next video that I'm going to do will be to show you how to add microphones, and then I think I'll also add how to add a video camera or a webcam. So I hope this helped you. If it did, I'd appreciate it if you'd give it a like, give it a thumbs up, and thanks for watching.